Welcome back, pod people.
Hey guys, welcome back.
I'm Bev.
And I'm Diz.
And this is
Trigger warning.
And what do we have to say today, Diz?
Well, Bev, do you have a story for us today? I believe it is your turn
Oh my
to
gosh.
share.
Well, I don't. What are we going to do?
Oh no.
This is a disaster.
So guys, how's it going? We're just going to chit chat for a minute.
Just kidding. I do have
You're
one.
so silly.
I know. That was my disaster. Yay. Story over. That was the shortest episode
Ever.
yet. Okay, no, really. I have one.
What have you got for us?
I have got an episode about Hurricane Juan and the killer floods.
What?
Sounds like a 50s or 60s doo-wop band.
Yeah, it does.
But it's not. So I'm going to start with trigger warnings.
Okay, that's a good place to start.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's bring this down a notch, because, it's not a doo-wop band.
Happy, yeah.
So, judging by the name, there's flooding, and there's drowning deaths, and there's the death of animals.
Oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, so
and just all around sadness.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started.
Okay, go for it.
So, most hurricanes that hit the U.S. start out in the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
Kind of out along the equator where the water is warm.
Makes sense.
And that's because the water has to be at least 79 degrees Fahrenheit or 26.1 degrees Celsius for the hurricane to form.
Okay.
A hurricane starts out as a tropical depression. This is just a quick science lesson, so don't everybody fall asleep. In simple terms, a tropical depression is a line of weak thunderstorms and rain showers circling around an area of low air pressure.
Okay.
The low air pressure causes the warm, humid air from the ocean to rise. And as the warm air rises, it does so in a spiral shape. It releases heat, it cools down, and then it condenses into clouds and storms. And then the cycle continues. Low air pressure gets sucks up the hot, humid air. It spirals upward. It condenses into storms. It keeps happening, and it gets faster and stronger. And then when the winds reach 30 miles per hour or 62.8 kilometers per hour, the tropical depression is considered a tropical storm.
Oh, okay.
When the winds reach 74 miles per hour or 119 kilometers per hour, it's officially a hurricane.
Oh, hashtag science.
Yeah, science. Bill Nye, the science guy.
Bill.
This is not sponsored.
Non-sponsored.
But I love Bill Nye, the science guy.
He was amazing.
He is awesome. So on October 26, 1985, a tropical depression formed in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh.
Not in the Atlantic.
Interesting.
And it was soon upgraded to a tropical storm that was named Juan.
Juan, okay.
Juan. The next day, Juan reached hurricane level.
Dang, that was fast.
With sustained winds of 85 miles an hour or 140 kilometers per hour.
Woo.
And the wind and waves that Juan created impacted evacuation attempts of those working offshore in the Gulf. Because it hit kind of fast, obviously.
Yeah, no kidding.
2 oil rigs, which were built in 1956 and 1961, were overturned.
What?
The oil rigs were built to withstand 45-foot or 14-meter waves, but Juan produced 70-foot or 21-meter waves.
That is terrifying to even think about.
It is freaking me out.
Even the
so
45 feet or whatever is terrifying.
Yeah, no freaking kidding.
10-foot waves scare me.
Me too. I'm like, if it's taller than Juan, I don't want to be it.
If it's over half of my body height, I don't want nothing to do with it.
I don't need that. I'm like, it's hitting my knees, that's fine. That's good. I'm good. So, the oil rigs recorded sustained winds of 92 miles per hour, or 148 kilometers an hour, with gusts of 110 miles an hour, or 176 kilometers an hour.
Woo! That is crazy.
Can you imagine sustained winds of 92 miles an hour? Like, our interstates are like around 70 or 75, maybe 80 miles an hour.
80. And it's being
And this is wind that's
sustained.
continuous.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, even around here, if we have really we'll
high
have
wind
a
warnings,
high wind,
it's like 60 miles an hour.
Yeah. And
Gusts, yeah.
Let's have almost double that.
Yeah. So a boat of workers trying to evacuate the oil rigs capsized. It killed one and injured 2 others. The rest were rescued by the U.S. Coast Guard, who would end up rescuing 160 people by the time all this was over.
Woo.
Another boat, the USS Agnes, capsized while on a search and rescue mission about 60 miles or 97 kilometers off the coast of Louisiana.
Wow.
2 of her crew went missing and were presumed dead. 2 others were rescued. Jack-up rigs are mobile platforms used as exploratory oil and gas drilling platforms.
Interesting. Okay.
They're known for their stability and versatility. During Hurricane Juan, a jack-up rig right near the mouth of Mississippi River overturned, killing 3 people.
Oh my God.
Again, known for their stability and versatility, it overturned.
Juan is causing a headache down in the Gulf.
Off the coast of Louisiana, 3 people were severely injured when a helicopter's rescue basket blew into an evacuated oil rig due to the strong winds. Overall, while trekking through the northern part of the Gulf Coast, Hurricane Juan killed 12 people, 9 of whom worked offshore.
Oh my gosh.
Over 1,300 were injured.
Some of that was the rescuers, too.
Yeah.
And not just the workers.
Yeah. People being evacuated.
Yeah.
And Juan actually took kind of a crazy path. It looped twice.
What? That is weird.
Yeah. It did like this little curly kick. It was weird.
Wow.
Its path impacted states from Texas to the panhandle of Florida. In Texas, the highest rainfall total reported was at a station southwest of Alto, Texas. There, 12.84 inches of precipitation was recorded.
Wow.
The southeastern portion of the state experienced flooding from both rainfall and tides that were about 4 feet above normal.
Woo.
4 feet above normal. That's 1.2 meters for, everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
Low-lying areas, bayous, and coastal areas near Galveston were flooded, as was a portion of Texas State Highway 87. Luckily, there wasn't much beach erosion, so that's good.
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah. The wind gusts Texas experienced were around 58 miles per hour, 93 kilometers an hour along the coast, which knocked down power lines and trees. There were power outages, and 1 person drowned in a boating accident off the coast. But what Texas experienced was more along the lines of a subtropical cyclone than an actual hurricane.
Interesting, okay.
Mississippi fared better than Texas. Biloxi saw the highest amount of rainfall at 10.52 inches. The highest amount for Mississippi
For them,
anyway.
Yeah.
The 10 inches actually didn't sound like very much, I guess, in comparison, but it still managed to flood 340 homes and businesses in the southern part of the state.
Oh my gosh.
Ports in Pass Christian and Long Beach were damaged by high winds and waves. And along the coast, several boats were damaged and the beaches were eroded, which in turn caused damage to coastal roads as debris and marsh grass were left behind when the storm passed.
Isn't that interesting that they had a little bit less rain, but their beaches eroded?
Yeah. I think it all depends on how the currents hit, too. Because maybe the way the storm was turning.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
And what kind of beach they happen to have.
Yeah, the soil and who knows. Mississippi estimated damages at around $776,000.
Wow, okay.
So $776,000 in 1985 is worth about $2,318,372 today.
Wow.
Mississippi's neighbor, Alabama, had minor damage with a total of about $65,000, which is about $194,000 today. Fairhope, Alabama recorded the highest rainfall with 12.23 inches.
Wow, okay.
And in comparison, again, Texas was at 12.84 inches.
Okay.
And Mobile recorded its wettest October on record that year.
Wow.
So, the rain caused flooding on streets and low-lying areas, but most properties were okay. Hardest hit were farmers who lost about 50% of their soybean crop.
Oh, man.
And the pecan crop, or pecan, if you're from the South,
we are, but no,
was also damaged, having been impacted 2 months earlier by Hurricane Elena.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, Florida is an expert on hurricane impacts, because usually when they sweep from the Atlantic, that's where they hit. But that doesn't make it any easier when it's your house that's been flooded. Pensacola held the record for the highest rainfall total with 11.71 inches. High waves caused flooding, beach erosion, and the loss of seawalls that Hurricane Elena had damaged 2 months earlier, along with Alabama's pecan crop. Hurricane Elena was just being a bitch.
Yeah, she was.
So, and then Juan came along and finished the job. On the outer edge of Juan, the storm whipped up 15 tornadoes along the Florida panhandle.
That didn't even think about tornadoes.
Yeah. Injured 6 people, destroyed 19 buildings, and damaged about 40 others.
Oh my gosh.
1 tornado killed a dog and damaged 2 hotels along U.S. Route 98. The tornadoes alone caused $1 million in damage.
In 1985 money?
Yeah, which is $2.98 million today.
So $3 million.
Yeah. Because of Juan's strange double loop off the coast of Louisiana, the boot-shaped state got hit with quite a lot of rainfall.
Lord.
Most of the southern portion of Louisiana got over 10 inches of rain. Galeno, Louisiana, got the greatest amount of rainfall with 17.78 inches. The rain increased river levels, while high waves and a 5 to 8 foot storm surge pushed water inland from the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh my gosh, and their levees are
crud. And 5 to 8 feet of storm surge is 1.5 to 2.4 meters of water. So you combine that with the rainfall and the storm surge and normal tide, all pushing in from the Gulf of Mexico.
Wow.
It covered crop fields. It impacted soybean and sugar crops. The crop damage was estimated at over $304 million, which is $908 million today.
Wow.
And that included $100 million or $298 million to the soybean industry alone.
Man, you wouldn't get no soybeans then.
No, soybeans, you were screwed.
I didn't even know about soybeans when I was a kid.
Yeah, in 1985, I didn't even know soybeans were a thing.
Well, I didn't even care about soybeans anyway. Yeah. I was 5 when you were 6.
I just wanted candy.
Really yeah.
Thousands of cattle were stranded due to flooding, and about 200 drowned in Terrebonne Parish.
Aww.
The shrimp industry was heavily impacted, as shrimp were washed offshore or killed. And, of course, oil facilities and pipelines were damaged as well, costing $2.9 million, or $8.7 million in today's money. Highways were damaged, levees were destroyed, cars were swept away, 50,000 homes were swept away.
Oh my gosh.
Property damage totaled around $250 million. Any guesses as to how much that is today? Now that I've said all these numbers that you can't retain, I'm sure.
I don't know. I can't even.
$747 million.
Oh my gosh.
In today's money.
That's almost 3 times.
Yeah.
What it was then.
Yeah. That's inflation, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone who's ever followed news of a hurricane, like me, I'm a dork, you know that they usually weaken when they make landfall.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. Because once they're no longer being fed that cycle of warm, moist air from the ocean, they lose power. And that was the case for Juan, too. The hurricane downgraded as it lost power. By the time it was on its road trip north, it was nothing more than a low-pressure system.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the combination of rain from Juan's remnants and other weather-related circumstances would cause deadly flooding in the mid-Atlantic states that made Hurricane Juan's journey look like a walk in the park. So, by Sunday, November 3rd, another storm was forming in southeastern Georgia. That storm tapped into the moisture left behind in the low pressure systems left behind by Juan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to keep referring to the storm kind of combination as Juan because it just is less confusing.
Easier.
It makes more sense. And Juan is like the start of all this anyway.
Yeah, it's all his fault.
So Some rain began falling here and there on November 3rd as Juan continued north.
Mm-hmm.
By the wee hours of November 4th, though, there was a massive area of rain forming from western North Carolina to southern West Virginia.
Wow.
The rain shifted northeast and strengthened as it moved. By nightfall on the 4th, the center of the storm reached central Virginia and the Lynchburg area.
Okay. Wow.
The storm was large enough by this point that it could simultaneously pull moisture from the Atlantic Ocean and get a boost from the winds blowing up along the eastern slope of the Appalachian Mountains.
It was a monster.
Yeah.
Truly
it could
a
reach
monster.
from the coast to the Appalachians and centered over Lynchburg, Virginia, which is basically
the
central Virginia. State of Virginia.
State of Virginia.
Yeah.
That is massive.
It is freaking huge. And keep in mind, this was no longer a hurricane. This was the remnants of a hurricane mixed with another storm.
Yeah.
That then stalled over the area.
That's the worst.
So heavy rains continued overnight from November 4th to the morning of November 5th. The storm touched many of the surrounding states, but brutally impacted Virginia and West Virginia. These two states had experienced some rain leading up to the approach of the newly renewed rain from Juan. And the southwestern part of Virginia is the city of Roanoke. In 1985, it was in the top 10 of the most populated cities in the state, with around 100,000 people.
Wow.
The top 10 and only had 100,000 people. And that's the city alone. Roanoke County would be a higher population, of course.
Right.
Roanoke is the largest city in the area, surrounded by many smaller towns and cities. During the flood of 1985, Roanoke got a record rainfall of 6.61 inches of rain in a 24-hour period, and that record still holds.
Wow.
To today.
That was 40 years ago, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, this November 4th will be 40 years since that record.
Wow.
That was on rain. That 1 day period on the 4th of November was on top of rain from the previous few days. So the total for the week for Roanoke itself was 10.98 inches of rain.
Mm-mm.
With the ground already saturated, the water just didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So in cities, the concrete and the asphalt and the buildings that are part of urban landscape means there's already less natural earth to absorb water.
Mm-hmm.
And the excess water, of course, began to build up, flowing across roads and low-lying sections of fields and yards and parking lots. And this runoff was everything that the ground could not hold. It quickly made small streams turn into raging torrents of water, and the streams suddenly looked like rivers. But they were still feeding the actual rivers. And the rivers rose so fast that it caught a lot of people off guard. For reference, the Roanoke River is considered to be at flood level at 10 feet, 3.05 meters. The morning of November 4th, 1985, the river was at around 4.78 feet. Pretty good, considering Roanoke had been experiencing rain for a few days before that already.
Mm-hmm.
So, November 4th, 9 a.m., 4.78 feet. At 11 a.m., 6.76 feet.
Whoa.
1 hour later, 12 noon, 13.85 feet.
Makes you want to throw up just thinking about that.
1:30 p.m., 19.6 feet. So let me run through the numbers again. At 9 a.m., the river is at 4.78 feet. That's 1.46 meters. 2 hours later, at 11 a.m., it's 2 feet higher at 6.76 feet, or 2.06 meters. At noon, one more hour later.
1 hour later.
It's at 13.85 feet, or 4.22 meters.
Almost 3 more feet.
So in 1 hour, it had risen by another 7 feet.
Gosh.
Not only reaching flood stage by that point, but exceeding it by 3 more feet in 1 hour.
That is insane.
At 1:30, it was at 19.6 feet. So that's another hour and a half, and it had risen another 5 feet.
I just don't have words.
I know. So by 7 p.m. that evening, the Roanoke River reached its highest ever crest at 23.35 feet, which is 7.12 meters. So, besides Roanoke, there were other rainfall totals that were impressive and terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So, locations near Roanoke included Covington with a total of 12.24 inches of rain, Hot Springs with 11.41 inches, Lexington with 7.35 inches, Bedford with 7.34 inches, and Lynchburg with 6.37 inches of rain. All of these locations experienced flooding either by the Roanoke River, the James River, other rivers or creeks or streams or, any other waterways.
Mm-hmm.
The state capital, Richmond, only got about 2 inches of rain, but it actually suffered from flooding from the James River because of downstream flooding.
Wow. And it has too much asphalt and buildings. And
Yeah, it's just so urban.
Mm-hmm.
The James crested at 30.76 feet or 93.38 meters near downtown Richmond.
Woo!
Closer to central and southwest Virginia, the James crested at 42.15 feet.
That gave me cold chills just now.
12.85 meters at Holcomb Rock near Lynchburg, and 38.84 feet or 11.84 meters at Buchanan, Virginia.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So flooding is obviously dangerous. It's a lot of water in a lot of places where it shouldn't be. But aside from the fact that the water is dark and filthy and full of unseen debris, there's another problem with it. Floodwater flows at an extremely fast pace.
Right.
An overwhelming volume of water is being forced through a space that usually holds a much smaller amount. It's like squeezing a garden hose to make the water spray out more forcefully.
Mm-hmm.
So the speed of floodwater is measured as the discharge rate, or flow rate. It's usually measured as cubic feet per second.
Okay.
1 cubic foot is about the size of a standard basketball.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Reading that made much sense to me.
I know, that's so helpful.
Made so much sense to me. So, at one of the gauges along the Roanoke River, its normal rate of discharge was 200 cubic feet per second. So basically, at that point, you could imagine that in 1 second, 200 basketballs flowed through that spot.
Wow.
See, that makes sense to me. That's how I can imagine this. People saying 200 cubic feet per second makes nothing. That makes no sense to me. 200 basketballs float past you in a second. I can see that.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is fast.
That's normal Roanoke River at that time.
Okay.
During the flood of 1985,
oh my gosh,
the discharge rate at that same spot went from 200 cubic feet per second to 32,330 cubic feet per second. 160 times more basketballs flowing each second. Y'all, I wish you could see her face.
I'm holding my head in my hands because I can't even.
I know. But if I just said that and didn't explain the basketballs, it wouldn't even,
like, I know it's a lot.
Yeah, you could be like, oh, that's a lot of...
But
that's a lot of cubic
foot.
That's
a lot of freaking basketballs.
But yeah. But if you think about it with the basketballs, it's like, that is
so scary
to think
how fast... I mean, like we've always said, we're both scared of water anyway.
Yeah.
Fast-moving water, forget about it.
Yeah. So the damage from the Roanoke River obviously was extreme. And there have been floods in the area since then, but this is the one that everybody remembers.
Mm-hmm.
It's referred to as the Election Day floods because Tuesday, November 5th was a gubernatorial election with one of the lowest voter turnouts on record.
I can imagine.
But for the people who lived in Virginia at the time, we just call it the Flood of 85.
Right.
It's like Madonna or Cher or Prince.
Needs no other name.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be called anything else. It was the Flood of 85. People just know it as that.
Yeah.
The floodwaters swept away homes and businesses. Roads were washed out. Vehicles were washed away and buried under mud and debris. Trains and their tracks were destroyed. Crops and livestock were lost. Landscapes of some of the towns were permanently changed. Throughout Virginia, damage was estimated at $753 million, making it the state's costliest flood at the time. In today's money, that would be the equivalent of $2.25 billion.
Oh my gosh, that gave me cold chills too.
People were rescued from rooftops and trees. The helicopter that usually is used to carry people from scenes of car accidents, like just the rescue
Like
chopper.
a life flight or whatever kind of thing?
Life flight. It was an ambulance helicopter.
Yeah.
Was used as a search and rescue helicopter and saved 125 people that day. Firefighters and first responders saved people with ladders from their trucks and with boats. People risked their lives driving through water as it deepened to get to neighbors that waited a little late, waited till the last minute, because they thought they were safe.
Because they didn't know.
But the water rose so fast.
That's so crazy.
Remember those 1 hour and it rose 7
3 hours
feet and then another hour and a half and another 5 feet. People just didn't.
It's just crazy.
It's like, oh, it looks like it's going to be okay. And an hour later, it's 7 feet higher. The
Yeah, because
entire
you're like,
river.
we've had rain before. It's going to be all right.
People who are on little streams and stuff, like, they turn around and suddenly the stream is at their door.
Yeah.
There was a story of one rescuer that was swept away. He was on, I think it was an inflatable boat, and it turned over. He was swept away, swept under the water.
That's so sad.
And they feared that he'd been lost. He clung to a tree, standing on 1 foot in the V of the branches. And he couldn't put both feet down. He stood on 1 foot until the water went down enough and was safe enough for him to get out and walk out himself. I think it was overnight. It was several hours.
Oh my gosh.
He was treated for hypothermia.
I was saying, this is in November, so it's cold.
Yeah. Freezing. Yeah. His coworkers had been so relieved he was okay, and they had just been forced to continue to work without him.
Right.
Thinking
That's
he
so
was dead.
Sad.
There were a lot of close calls and a lot of heroes. Some were wearing uniforms, some were not.
Mm-hmm.
Even still, a total of 22 people died in Virginia, with 10 of them being in the Roanoke and surrounding areas.
Wow.
The flood of 85 also affected North Carolina, Maryland, Pennsylvania, basically the states kind of surrounding.
Uh-huh.
But as I said at the beginning, it was Virginia and West Virginia that felt the brunt of Juan and the nightmarish conglomeration of weather events that coincided that November.
Right.
West Virginia is mountainous, with most of the land suitable for towns and cities lying along the banks of its rivers.
Right.
That makes it heavenly for the residents, who get to enjoy the scenic views and hike the mountains and hunt and fish and explore. And unfortunately, it also devastated the state, especially the eastern portion, during November of 1985. Unlike Virginia, West Virginia had really not had a lot of rainfall prior to the remnants of Juan coming through. The rainfall totals I'm about to give you are actually from November 1st through November 7th, whereas the ones from Virginia were mostly from October 26th through November 5th.
Oh, okay.
Keep in mind, these are also totals from only some of the rain gauges in these towns. Many of them had multiple gauges, and the measurements between gauges varied.
Okay.
I'm thinking these might be just where maybe some were under, like, maybe closer to a mountain.
Okay.
Or maybe they stretched along a river in a valley, and so some got hit with more rain, some got hit with less. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So, anyway. And this is going to be just a bunch of numbers, but Morgan, West Virginia had 4.81 inches of rain. Hardy, West Virginia had 5.28 inches of rain at Wardensville.
Okay.
Grant, West Virginia had 6.04 inches of rain at Bayard. Hardy, West Virginia, 8.46 inches of rain at Matthias. So that's 2 at Hardy so far. 5.28 at one, 8.46 at another.
What a difference.
Grant, West Virginia, 8.85 at Petersburg. So that's 2 for Grant, 6.04 and 8.85. The last 3 are all at Pendleton, West Virginia. The first one's at Franklin, the next one's at Spruce Knob, and the last one's at Upper Tract. So 9.52 inches, 10.57 inches, and 11.28 inches.
Oh my gosh.
So this is a huge variation. The lowest one that I said, and this is just the lowest, was 4.81. The highest is 11.28.
Wow.
The South Branch Potomac River rose and devastated several communities along its banks. At Franklin, it crested at 22.58 feet,
Woo!
6.88 meters, and at Petersburg, it hit 25.4 feet.
Mm.
And this is Petersburg, West Virginia, not to be confused with Petersburg, Virginia, because we're not original. We named them all the same.
Yeah, we're all the same state, though. That's why.
25.4 feet is 7.7 meters. Reports said that Petersburg, West Virginia had 4 feet of water flowing through its downtown area.
Wow.
Houses were floating, and vehicles were stacked on top of each other as the waters receded.
I mean, 4 feet of water is a lot of water.
Yeah. And that was just flowing through the downtown.
Yeah.
Like it was a normal, like that was part of the normal riverbed.
Right. I've seen footage, obviously, of these kinds of things. And it's just like...
And the water, the thing is, like, if it's not a place you're familiar with...
Yeah.
It's just brown water.
Right.
And yeah, it's like, oh, that's terrible looking. But if you don't recognize the landscape and the landmarks, it's kind of hard to tell because you can't see into it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell how far up a building it is and things like that.
If you're not used to
if you're not used to seeing that street corner or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, you can't see what's under it and stuff. And usually by then, like, you're seeing it just sitting there before it starts to recede. But man, when you see like
the rushing water,
the water like flying, just
flowing through
like
the downtown area,
that's just sitting there looking like it's in a bathtub, but it's a city.
Like it's just a floating city.
Yeah,
is what it looks like.
Some of the pictures from looking at Roanoke and stuff were like there was near the hospital in Roanoke. There was a stack of cars, like this was talking about, where it was like there was a tractor trailer, and then there were just like a stack of cars at the bottom of a bridge, where the rivers had obviously just kind of
stacked them up, under the
everything,
bridge.
just as the water started receding, it's just where everything kind of landed.
Oh my god.
It was just insane. And I know that stack of cars had to be 20 feet high or something, because that's where the water just had come down from. It's crazy. Downstream at Moorfield, the South Fork South Branch Potomac crested at nearly 10 feet above flood level at 19.99 feet. Many of the residents slept in their cars at the town cemetery, which was located on a hill.
What a depressing
place. Safely out of the reach of the raging floodwaters. I know. It's like, everybody, let's meet at the cemetery.
So we can live.
Yeah. They had to sleep at the cemetery in their cars.
But thank goodness that cemetery was there on a hill.
Yeah. I've been to West Virginia, and it's a lot of mountain. There's a lot of elevation for you to get away from the river.
Right.
But there's not a lot of places you can just
the thing is
go that's where you can also park your car or take your things.
And the river's all through the mountains, too. So it's like, even though it's high up, it could still be flooding because there's a river nearby or whatever.
And that's what I was saying at the beginning. Like, everywhere that's suitable, that has enough, like, flat area or just hills or whatever, for you to build a town, it is on the banks of the river.
Right.
And most of those areas is probably because the rivers have been flowing through there and wearing down mountain space to create that valley for you to...
thousands of years or whatever.
To build a city on. So... even further downstream at Springfield, the river crested at an amazing 44.22 feet.
Oh my gosh, that gave me cold chills again.
I know. 13.48 meters. That is insane.
44 feet?
That is insane.
Like, compared to a building, how many floors is that? Do you know what I mean?
I know. That is crazy.
I'm going to Google that while you continue.
Okay. I'm going to let you. I'm going to just pause the recording because you know what? There's another figure coming up and I'm just going to give you cold chills again. All right. So 40 feet is 4 stories, she says.
Yeah. So just a touch over 4 stories.
So 4-story building. The river crested at 4-story building height.
That's
how
crest.
Far out it spreads, basically. So
that is so scary.
All right. So be prepared.
I'm not prepared. I am not prepared.
In Paw Paw, West Virginia, which, number one, what an awesome
name. What a great name.
A work project had a helping hand in making the flooding worse. So earlier in the year, an old bridge had been taken down and was due to be rebuilt. a temporary bridge had been constructed to enable the flow of traffic across the river while construction continued. When the flooding took out the temporary bridge, it acted as a dam.
Oh, no.
Creating flooding of 53.58 feet.
Shut your freaking mouth.
Which 16.33 meters, which was over 28 feet above flood stage.
Okay. Like, if you really think about how high that is to see it in person.
Yeah. I mean, luckily it spreads outward, but still.
It's still high.
Yeah.
Because everything is...
Like, if that river could stay in its banks and just pile that water up that high.
Yeah, like how high that
is terrifying.
Oh.
Yeah. So, 19 homes in a mobile park were washed away. Many businesses were destroyed and most didn't reopen. But the people of Paw Paw actually considered themselves lucky because they actually had time to evacuate.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy. And who knows, if they hadn't had that project, who knows, like, how they might not have had it too bad. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I don't know what it would have been if that project hadn't happened and that temporary bridge hadn't failed.
Man.
53.58 feet of flooding. 28 feet above flood stage.
I just can't. My brain just can't even.
It's astonishing. I know.
I need to go back to basketballs again. I get that.
Oh, we're getting ready to.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
okay.
We're going to the basketballs,
oh, guys,
girl.
We're going
back
to the basketballs.
So, the discharge rate of South Branch Potomac River was incredible. So, from what I could tell from my research, which nobody can just give it to me straight, the normal, like, average rate of the river was, like, between 4,000 and 10,000 cubic feet per second.
Okay.
So that's 4,000 to 10,000 basketballs per second.
Yes.
The rate recorded at Petersburg, West Virginia during the flood was 130,000 cubic feet per second. So remember, we were shocked at 32,000 basketballs in Roanoke. This was 130,000 basketballs.
That is insane.
Second.
Even now, even with a basketball, it's still like I can't even see it.
It's hard to comprehend.
Like, I just know it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a lot of basketballs.
It is a lot of basketballs.
One of the other waterways.
Okay. And normally it's 40 to 10,000.
Yeah, she's freaked out by
the
basketballs.
And it's 100 and... What was it?
130,000.
30,000.
Yeah. That's a lot. I mean, that's so fast.
It's like a bajillion times more.
Yeah. Probably not that many, but a lot.
Okay. Trees are coming through there. Logs.
Yeah.
Houses. Cars. Equipment in general.
Temporary bridges. Everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
So one of the other waterways affected by the over-freaking whelming rainfall was the Cheat River. Have you ever heard of the Cheat River?
No.
Okay. I hadn't until I researched this. And I'm not saying I know everything about West Virginia, but I was actually kind of surprised, like, because it's on the eastern part of West Virginia, because that's what got hit the most. And since we're on the western part of Virginia, I've heard of a lot of the rivers, on that end of West Virginia. So I was kind of surprised. I've heard of most of the ones that I read through here.
And this is not one you would forget. That's
Cheat River. Like, I would have made puns about the name Cheat River.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised. But
interesting.
Anyway, so at Raz Burg,
Rollsburg
maybe, West Virginia, the Cheat River set a record by cresting at 36.9 feet, 11.2 meters, and washed away a trailer park. In Albright, West Virginia, there were 132 houses in town. After the flooded river rushed through the area, 110 of them had been destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
So there were only 22 houses left in that one little town.
And they probably had damage to it, like
probably.
From water and
they
stuff.
Probably did, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The Cheat River uprooted thousands of trees and carried them downstream into houses and recreation areas where they caused additional damage. Topsoil was washed away, and debris left behind caused significant agricultural loss. Farm structures were washed away, and hundreds of thousands of chickens and turkeys were killed.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah. The Cheat River had a discharge rate, depending on which gauge you looked at, between 100,000 and 200,000 cubic feet per second, depending on the location. Like I said.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of basketballs.
Basketball.
So it's no wonder it easily destroyed everything in its path.
Literally.
So here's some more info about some of the other rivers.
Okay.
There were record water heights set on portions of the Little Kanawha River, which is the one I talked about in the episode about Union Carbide. And
yes.
The West Fork River.
Yes.
Tygart Valley River and North Branch Potomac River. The Greenbrier River crested at record levels, just like the Cheat River did. The Little Kanawha River crested at 13 feet above its flood stage in Glenville, West Virginia. I don't have the actual number. And I didn't go digging because we have plenty of numbers in here.
Numbers, right.
If y'all need the number, you go looking all you want to. Tygart Valley River crested at almost 15 feet above flood stage at Philippi, or I think it's Philippi, West Virginia.
I think so.
The Greenbrier crested at 20.20 feet, which is 6.16 meters at Marlinton, West Virginia. So overall, West Virginia was devastated by the flooding.
It was nothing but water.
Across the state, almost 9,000 houses were damaged, and around 4,000 were destroyed, leaving 2,600 people without homes. Over 700 businesses were damaged or destroyed. Agricultural losses were estimated at $97 million, which is $291 million today. Damage to the United States Forest Service was estimated at $3.9 million for West Virginia alone, which is $11.7 million today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the U.S. Forest Service is very prevalent in West Virginia. Yeah. I mean, it's
and in
wild, wonderful West Virginia.
Well.
It's huge.
That's what I was thinking a little bit ago.
Yeah. Statewide, damage totaled nearly $700 million, which is $2.1 billion today.
Gosh.
And I think Virginia was $753 million. So it was probably, the totals were like right at each other. It was just differences probably in agriculture versus business versus, property versus.
Well, and because West Virginia has so much forest and everything, financially they're not as urban and, I'm not trying to say as Virginia, as a large part of Virginia is.
Right.
So.
But like with what hit us, it was, and I say us because we're the Roanoke area. Like there were more businesses in Roanoke and stuff.
Yeah.
But then the outer lying areas were agriculture.
Yeah.
And then like West Virginia had more U.S. Forest Service stuff.
Right.
And then they had agriculture. But, and then they had businesses. They had businesses along their rivers and stuff. So, like, it ended up being almost equal.
That's crazy.
700 million versus 753 million. It was, like, right on the money.
It's practically the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, on top of the financial and material loss, West Virginia also suffered a loss of life as well. A total of 38 people were killed in the floods there. 22 in Virginia, 38 in West Virginia. And the number of lives lost varied from source to source.
Oh, yeah.
I went with 38 because it was the one that I saw kind of most frequently. I saw another one that was like in one other state that I think in Maryland, one person had passed away in Maryland. Because like I said, other states were affected. Like North Carolina got a little bit.
But just not as
and the
heavily.
Northeast or northwestern part of North Carolina, because that would have been the southwestern part of Virginia.
And
the southwestern part of Pennsylvania, where it borders with West Virginia, got flooded, that kind of thing. DC got some flooding because it's in the James River area. And also because the coastal tides got hit a little bit, and that affects the water, Chesapeake Bay and the watershed and all those water terms.
If you guys aren't from this side or these areas, look at the map and just see how much water is in this general area of the mid-Atlantic on the East Coast.
Yeah. I mean,
and how many rivers run through all the states.
You drive up the interstate from Roanoke not too far, and then you see a sign that says Chesapeake Bay Watershed.
Yeah.
The Chesapeake Bay is the other side of the state.
I would say we're not that close. But there we go.
But there it is. There it be.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the it affected a bunch of states, technically, but obviously Virginia and West Virginia were hit really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it also encouraged Virginia at the time had plans that they were trying to get settled and trying to get into effect about flooding.
Okay.
Some flood reduction plans, not proof, because you can't flood proof an area that a river is flowing through.
Right.
It's called the Roanoke River because it runs and floods through Roanoke.
Through Roanoke. Yeah.
So you can't stop flooding. It's not going to happen.
Right.
But
try to reduce the
reduction. Yeah. And so it actually, the flood of 85 was like the wake up call to make those plans finally go forward. And I read an article not too long before we started recording that said that the flood plans were evaluated and that they were not only approved, but basically that a lot of the points of them were in line with or above what FEMA would approve.
Have approved.
Something like that. Okay. I don't remember exactly how it was worded. I should have put it in here, but you know what? I got lazy. So.
It's fine. You're telling us right now. It's all good.
It's like all this water, all I had to do was just pee, okay? So.
Well, and honestly, because of the flood of 85, it probably helped all of that go through even faster.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
And because it was on everyone's mind, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's like, instead of it maybe taking X amount of time, it was so much faster because we had just lived through it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. They started working on it. And I mean, they are still, like, the plans that went into effect then and got written in and whatever and started getting paid for and whatever, they are still planning out now. Like, the city planners are still working on that stuff. 30 to 40 year
plan, especially for something like this.
Yeah.
Because you have phases you have to go through.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're sitting here.
And the projects cost money.
Years.
It takes time.
Yeah.
So anyway, in Roanoke, they're, I guess, technically called the election day floods.
No, it's
like
not.
I said, we call them the flood of.
That's
we call it the flood of 85.
It's the flood of 85, you guys.
In West Virginia, it's called the killer flood of 85. And that's the story of Hurricane Juan and the killer floods.
Wow, that is insane.
Do you have memories of the flood?
I do. I remember our grandfather using his boat to go save people down in that area.
I don't actually remember that.
I have a memory of looking out our kitchen window at the driveway.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's a real memory, if I've just made it up over the years, but I'm pretty sure it was real. But it's not like we had water in our yard or anything.
Right.
But I just know it was from then.
Uh-huh.
Because, we were 5 and 6.
Yeah,
so.
I think I wanted to see water.
Yeah.
But because I didn't understand how it was, how dangerous it would have been.
Well, and honestly, no. I was going to say across our road where all the trees and stuff were, we probably could have seen water through there.
Yeah,
plus
if we
it's
walked
November,
down to there, yeah.
But we wouldn't have been allowed to walk down here.
I remember on like November 5th or 6th, like a few days after, that our grandfather was walking with our older sister and was going to walk down and see, like after the waters had started going down and everything, was going to walk down and see the stuff and just look around and see the damages and stuff like that. And I wanted to go, and he was like, no, you're too little.
Right.
Of course I remember that because bitterness, but
right.
But I don't remember like seeing the water. I don't really remember watching. I guess I probably remember some watching the news.
So the story I have in my head is that he used his fishing boat that he had to go save people off the roof of the buildings that were near our house.
Okay, I know that the people were saved off the roof of the Napa
building. And I'm pretty
building,
sure, yes. Because he went with our uncle.
And Custom Wood Products.
Yeah.
That was down, because we lived when our grandparents first moved to the area, it was farmland, but they stayed, and then as the farmers in the area sold their land, an industrial park was built in that area. So just a
bunch of businesses.
So there were a ton of businesses around us, but no other houses.
Except for like one.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point there would have been one other house.
I don't know if they flooded.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them.
I don't know how much farther up they were compared to all the
we were up on a hill, but I don't know how they would have been affected. But yeah, the industrial park ran right along with the river, And it was completely...
And the railroad tracks.
Yeah, it was completely devastated by the flood.
Yeah,
and
like the entire area down there.
Napa distribution center warehouse.
There's auto parts.
That was inundated, and custom wood products. It was a wood manufacturer distribution warehouse. Because that
whole field beside Napa Auto Parts distribution center was flooded.
Yeah,
and
the water came up so fast that the people were still at work. Yeah. It was a Monday. The people were still at work, so they just kept. They went up. They just kept going higher and higher. Yeah, and they ended up, I think, going up to the roof, and then I read stories that there were some people that had to make a hole in the wall because they couldn't get up to the roof. And they went out through a hole in the wall that they made in some of the warehouse area. I don't remember which building it was.
Wow.
And actually there's this, obviously this November is the 40th anniversary. So we had relatives working at Napa at the time.
Yes.
So if I can get my act together, I might interview and see
that
if
would
I
be
can
amazing.
See if I can do just a few personal memory things and put them on here.
And also, if anyone who is listening is from the area and
here
you
or
have
West Virginia,
any sort of memories or just know of stories, please let us know, because that would be very interesting to know.
Email us at triggerwarning411@gmail.com.
Yes, especially with the 40th anniversary coming up very soon.
Yes. I know that my boss at work said her mom was shopping at the mall, and the mall, the water filled up the parking lot because there's nowhere for it to go. It's all asphalt.
Right.
And her car was covered almost to the roof. And she came out of the mall, tried to, and she couldn't get her car. And there was actual pictures of her car in the paper.
Really?
With the roof showing and the water up to the roof. Yep.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I saw the pictures, like when I was looking through. I was weird. Like, oh, I wonder which one of those cars is hers.
Interesting.
Yep. So,
well, that is
very
crazy.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And Elena.
Elena.
She didn't help things.
She didn't help. She more messed with Florida, but Juan was the one that messed with us.
Yeah. And the fact
I got my eye on you, Juan.
Do you know what? Imagine if it had just kept on moving, but it stalled right there.
Yeah.
And that's when it always is the worst.
It was blocked by, I think, by some kind of something coming down from Canada or something.
Yeah, something.
I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Those meteorologists out there, they know about
frigid air coming from Canada.
Yeah, something. And actually, rescue efforts and cleanup were actually helped by the fact that it was a mild November.
Oh,
it was still cold, like people still could be hypothermic because flood water is usually cold for some reason. I don't know, go figure. And so maybe because it fell out of the sky, which is real high up, but
that's true.
But the cleanup and stuff, the efforts, it was actually a mild November, and it actually kind of helped because as people were cleaning, they didn't have to worry as much about, freezing to death trying to clean up.
Right. Wow.
And I did not go into victim stories this time because there were so many. And I did find stories about the 10 people in the Roanoke area that passed. And I may go into those if I do a separate,
like an
little special anniversary section.
Yeah.
I might do that in November, but I didn't go into it this time because I couldn't do it on all of the people.
Right.
Even if I could find something on every single victim.
That would be
I wouldn't have had the time to do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do it if I couldn't do it on all of them. And then, again, like I said, I couldn't find something on all of them. But I might do it if I do a 40th anniversary thing for this November.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Wow, well, thanks for telling us about that. Yeah. That's very interesting because, we were so young then.
Yeah, I was thinking when I started researching, when I was a kid and this happened, of course I knew it happened here.
Right.
And, the surrounding areas, because the area, like Buchanan and things like that, I think of as part of Roanoke.
Right. It's all part of the same area.
Yeah. Even though it's technically a different county, and, it's one of those places that you hear of so much when you live in the area that it's kind of still part of home.
Yeah. It's like next door kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's what it feels like.
But, so I knew it happened here, but I didn't have any idea at that time that it happened in West Virginia. Like, I didn't know how far West Virginia really was from here.
Right.
And that kind of thing. So,
or even like North Carolina and Maryland and Pennsylvania or whatever. especially those that weren't hit as hard, I would never have guessed that they would have been affected.
Right. I wouldn't have even thought about it if they had said, oh, well, it's affecting, like, it's getting moisture from the Atlantic and also hitting the Appalachians. It's like, it wouldn't have occurred to me that was impressive. Yeah. I would have known, like, that was a big deal.
I'd be like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what that means.
How does a hurricane work? I don't understand. Yeah. Or a depression or system or whatever.
Well, I'll be honest. The source I got on how a hurricane works was from Nat Geo Kids website.
You know what?
Because it explained it easier.
If you want to really learn something, find it for kids. Yeah. And then once you get the idea of it, you can go into more like adult versions.
I was like, I just need the simplest explanation. Because I'm not
know.
I'm not training the next generation of meteorologists. Right. I'm just trying to figure out the basics of how the storm forms.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. Well, so that's the story of Juan and the flood of '85. Election day floods,
like a punk
killer
rock
floods.
Band.
Yep. The flood of '85 when we were just knee high to a grasshopper.
That's right. Yeah. Grasshopper knees.
Mm-hmm. It was actually really interesting to look at as an adult.
Right. Especially in this, not just like, oh, I'm just interested in this, but like for this reason as a podcast episode.
Yeah.
Like, that's interesting.
And I know it was a lot of numbers too, but it was
sometimes you need
really
those
astounding.
Numbers. Yeah. Thanks for the basketball also.
And, yeah, the basketballs,
that really does help.
Yeah, the website that I got the basketball info from made so much, and that was not Nat Geo Kids, but it should have been.
That's fantastic.
But it like really helped me. I was like, thank you for putting it in terms I can understand.
Yeah.
Cubic feet doesn't do nothing for me. I didn't take math in my senior year of high school. I didn't want my GPA to go down.
I did, and I hated every minute of it, but I still don't understand what a cubic foot is.
I know. I just know it's the size of a basketball.
I know it's like a 12, but like I get it, but I can't visualize it very well.
Sorry.
Now I can.
Now it's a basketball. I'm going to show you some pictures in a minute too, because they were really cool.
Yes, please do.
So, all right, people.
Hey guys, thanks for listening.
Send us your stories if you have any, because I'm really interested in this. I mean, I'm interested in all of them, but I'm really interested in this one, especially if I'm going to do a special for November.
Yeah.
And also, thanks.
We appreciate you guys.
And now you know about the flooding. Oh, and I was also going to say,
tell us.
Now that you know about those basketballs per second, do not drive in flood water. You don't know how deep it is. And even if you do, you don't know how fast it's flowing. And it can lift up your car and it can carry your stupid butt away. So do not drive in flood water. And then if it does take you away, your dumb ass might get someone else killed because you tried to do it. So please don't do it.
That is why they say, turn around, don't drown.
And I know them rhyming makes it sound really stupid and makes you roll your eyes at them, and I get that, but don't do it.
Because you're putting other people in...
Just think of the basketballs, okay? Just think of the basketballs.
Just think of all the basketballs that are in there in front of your car.
I'm going to make bumper stickers that say, remember the basketballs of '85. And turn around.
Think you
Don't drive through floodwaters. Remember the basketballs of '85.
You guys, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna.
Stay tuned for being able to get one of those.
If people ever say I like your bumper sticker and I remember the basketballs, then I'll be like, thanks for listening to our podcast. You're one of 5.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do. And we'll see you later, pod people.
And don't forget, watch for deer.